I'm Sreevidhya Chandramauli. I teach Indian music. It's called Carnatic music. It belongs to the southern India. The style that I teach is called Karaikudi Bani. Bani is a style. My style occupies a very important place because of the lineage that we have carried for 11 generations now. Until the 7th generation, it was carried from father to son. But from my grandmother's generation, that's the 8th, the women began to carry the tradition of Carnatic music, playing the veena and teaching, performing, being part of the community, quite visible in the public sphere. They have carried it from 8th, 9th, and I'm the 10th generation in my family. We practiced with anybody who came into the home to learn. There was one thing that my grandmother and my mom would say: if somebody knocks at your door wanting to learn something or wanting to learn the art that you have, you can never say no. I teach veena, that is my main profession. It's a lute from southern India, and I'm happy to be continuing the tradition with my family. My sons play, my husband. The beauty of being in a tradition and a lineage that I come from is that we don't know when we are learning, when we are just happily having a family conversation. Everything is musical. I do not know when I formally started learning, but I was into it. Learning was not a chore. Practice was not a chore.
My name is Nidhi, and for the past 5 years I've been studying South Indian classical Carnatic music under my guru Vidyanti.
I distinctly remember the first composition that she sang as a small child. She's a very enthusiastic child, always ready to grab new lessons. This is a tradition that is oral and oral training. There is no written material that is provided to the children. It is memory based. So we train their ears to listen. Yesterday we presented Sanskrit, Telugu.
It was at the local Hindu temple, and there were a lot of people, my friends, my teachers, my family back in India. My grandparents came, the Portland Indian community who were there to support me.
Yeah, she wanted to perform those songs. She liked them. So I let her pick what she wants to sing and then go about having a conversation with that, the grammar of it, the logic of how to arrange the grammar that you hear or understand, and how do you present that?
Beforehand, we selected 8 songs, 8 different compositions that we would present. And before and after each composition, we would have either a short or an elaborate improvisation.
Framework is a raga. The composition is something that we sang together. And then by the end of the compositions, sometimes we took turns in elaborating the solfeges in the composition. That is improvisation. We both take turns to summarize each other and move on to the next part where the grammar would lead. It's a dialogue.
We go back and forth in improvisation, and I learn from her and maybe she learns from me, and yeah, it's like a fun back and forth between me and Vidyanti. I felt so supported by Vidyanti in the percussion and the string, and I think more than all of that, I felt so honored to be sharing the stage with Vidyanti.
The parents' generation, they are very enthusiastic in wanting their children to know their culture, their native language, customs, and everything. It's beautiful.
Traditional arts, the only way to keep it alive is if you practice it, if you speak your language, if you connect with your identity. And I think that's something that a lot of kids these days are missing out on. I want to tell people who have an identity to cherish it, to accept their identity. And if they're part of it, if they're affiliated with any art in any way, that they cherish it, they pass it on to the next generation, they practice it, and they share their love for it with the rest of the community.
If at all I want to feel comfortable leaving what I have brought to this culture, is to make sure that the next generation is able to carry the arts of their indigenous cultures forward by presenting and bringing some awareness to the profession, the artists, the teachers, and incorporating art to be part of our academic education.